Hey there, Alice here again, and today we're going to talk about how to build a relationship with a stranger. And you may think this is crazy because we shouldn't be talking to strangers, but hear me out. In this video, we will cover the importance of building a relationship with a stranger, and it's not as difficult as you think. Before somebody becomes your friend or colleague, they are a stranger. Every good relationship, business partnership, and friendship started with two people meeting together. This could be anywhere: a networking event, a party, a bus stop, the metro station, and of course, you could also meet online. But you're strangers. Let's get that out of the way. What actually turns that encounter into a relationship? There's three things. And if you stay till the end, I'm going to share with you a tip on how I turn my meetings with strangers into real authentic relationship. Tip number one, you stay curious. You see what the person is doing, and that's why you've noticed them. You've noticed something in that person that feels good, that is interesting. Maybe they have posted something that you really love. Maybe they made you laugh. So you are curious about that person. And of course, you first see it before you say it. You go up to that person or they come up to you and then you just start having that conversation. You're like digging. You're trying to figure out, why is this person so interesting to you? And of course, you ask questions. Number two, I've mentioned about what the person says. And typically when you hear something that draws you to that stranger, it's because it's something familiar. So maybe they're talking about something you care about, and it's familiar, it feels real, authentic, it's close to your heart. You're not thinking logically, why did this person say that? You're thinking because you're feeling that what the person said was just, it either made you happy or super angry, and that's why you're reacting. When you're meeting a stranger, there's a feeling that you get. It's a gut feeling, a gut reaction. You're not logically thinking, should I talk to this person or not? Yes, when you first connect with a stranger, it's emotional. But then you're logically thinking, should I talk to this person or not? And when you're a child, your parent tells you don't talk to strangers. I never listened, by the way. I found strangers to be incredibly more supportive and kind than sometimes my own friends and colleagues. So I always encourage people to talk to strangers because you'll learn something new. And then the third thing is that time stops when you talk to a stranger, and your whole day could change. The moment in your day also changes. When we change from our routine or from our thought process, we invite something new, we grow as people. So talking to strangers allows you to grow into a more authentic, wholesome person. Some of my most important friendships came from talking to strangers. One of my first mentors, Ray Speth and Maria Speth, they're out in Arizona. We met at a networking event and I just felt their energy. And of course, I've always wanted to drive in a white Tesla car, and they happened to have one. And we started talking about the event. And I also said like, oh, I want to go check out your Tesla, and can you give me a ride? And I was with my brother, and we ended up talking, my brother and I and Ray and Maria. And then my gut told me to ask, can you be my mentor? And then Ray said, only if you're going to be my mentor. And I think that mentors, the way that you get a mentor is you ask for it. You ask for the help. If you're fortunate enough to have a family member that can mentor you, or a friend, that's great, or even a colleague. But if you don't have those options, then asking strangers for help is a beautiful thing. And Ray and Maria became my lifelong friends. I also had a relationship with someone whom I also met at this conference in San Diego. The stranger just spoke perfectly Czech. And when two strangers speaking a different language, and we connected and eventually dated. Invite those encounters with strangers because you don't know if they're going to be your business partner, your boyfriend or girlfriend, your mentor, and take a moment and think about your relationship. How many of them actually came from meeting as strangers versus someone introduced you? Really take a moment and think about that, because it's going to give you insights on how we actually connect. And of course, now in social media, we're all strangers, sometimes uncomfortable. But remember that without taking that first step and being vulnerable and trusting a little bit, you won't get that relationship. And a relationship is a give and take, and it's a beautiful thing. I want to go back to some of the concerns that that people have when they meet strangers. And a lot of it has to do with safety. And it's not just being physically safe, but also like emotionally feeling safe, especially with most of our relationships being now digital, because my family is pretty far away from me. And sometimes the people I meet is online. You don't know their social networks. You don't know their communities. So on the internet, there's a lot that people can hide. How do you let down your guard and allow yourself to deepen a relationship that is essentially an encounter, right? And it's much harder to get there when you meet online. Of course, you can't feel that person and read their energy. But of course, you can do some investigation and look at their social network, and that helps. I always say that at the end of the day, at some point, to keep in mind that we've all been strangers before. And you will know one way or another why this person is in your life. And don't be afraid to really open up, because if you get hurt, you can do it again. And you'll meet a lot of people. There'll be some good apples and bad apples, but eventually you will make lasting friendships that really are there for you for the whole lifetime. And you can't get there without being vulnerable. And I know I struggle with that too. I always want to say, just don't hurt me. Are you going to, what's your interest or what's your intention? And I'm always trying to figure out, why does this person want to talk to me? But then I always come back to that we as people, as humans, want the same thing. We want to be loved. We want to contribute. We want to connect. And so when we bring ourselves just to the intrinsic value of why we're humans, and that is to connect with another person, it's okay to share something with a stranger. So to wrap this up, building a relationship with a stranger doesn't have to be so scary or awkward or stressful. It can actually be quite relaxing. Stay curious, you ask those questions, you share something, share experiences, and you stay true to who you are. And now for the tip. What I always do when I meet a stranger, I talk about what the event that brought us together. And I really celebrate that. So if we met at a networking event, I come back to that event and I always want to celebrate it. Most of the time when I meet strangers, it's by sharing an activity. And I always come back and remind the person, I'm super grateful that I met you, and remember the time when we met, because that is a reinforcement of the relationship, and it is the memory, it is the event that brought you together. So the tip that I wanted to share, think of the context, like when you're meeting that person, in what context, and think of the feeling that you had that day. Were you happy? Did that person bring you something valuable information or shared experiences? And tell them that you're very grateful for that, and really take a moment to just, instead of having these transactional relationships and meet people, come and go, pick a few people that are important in your life and go with it. Go deep in that relationship. You are the average of the 5 people you meet in your life. So pick those 5 strangers and see what they bring in your life. If you like this episode, please subscribe to my channel. I have a playlist on communication, and let me know what you're interested in hearing next, because I would love to talk about it in my next episode. In the next episode, I will talk about direct communication. Now hear me out. This one's important because communication is not the same as direct communication. And I will share with you some insights on how to become a better communicator, specifically using direct communication. As always, do the best that you can every day, and thanks for coming here again.